me talk, please? Please. Please, thank you very much. Anyways, as I was saying before I was rudely interrupted, hello there. I'm Carter, this is Andrew, and, we're just two dudes. We like to talk about sports and stuff, so that's pretty much what we're going to be doing.
This is going to be fun.
This is going to be fun. I'm very excited.
Yeah. Okay, so just to start us off, though, we do have 3 rules that we will never break. If we do break the rules, then we are retiring.
I don't know about that.
No, we can't. We can't ruin our reputation.
Yes, we must quit. And actually, it's 4 rules, but we'll explain the 4th rule special later.
Okay. So the first one is, in any stories that we introduce or the episode on or we tell, we're not going to be using any specific name, just for privacy reasons. The second rule is this is not 100% serious. If you want to go watch a sports podcast or anything that's super in detail, like just go watch ESPN or something. Like, don't waste your time.
Yeah,
because
if you're looking for like hardcore facts, straight from the book, not the place. All right,
we are obviously not professionals.
If you want,
we are doing this for fun. We will be using facts and statistics, because if we weren't, it wouldn't be relevant. But yeah, this is for fun. We will be telling stories. We will get off topic. So apologize in advance for that.
And we will enjoy it. And if you don't like it, you can leave. So, yeah.
And the third and most important rule is there will be no political discussions on this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely none. We will not do it. We will not do controversial stuff. We will not do any sort of like presidential type stuff. You want to go watch presidential debates? Go watch Fox News. We're not going to be doing any debating on any politics whatsoever. So yeah, that's just.
And rule number 4, the special rule, is don't take rule number 1 and number 2 too seriously. Now rule number 3, take that one seriously. But the other rules, you can bend the rules.
So rule number 4 kind of bends with number 2 though, right? Because they're basically the same thing. It's like not 100% serious.
What's rule number 2?
So basically, rule number 4 is just an extension.
I already forgot the rules. 2. It's not very good.
No, I like our rules. Mm-hmm. What other rules should I add?
I don't know. I don't know. But we are going off topic, and the topic of today's episode is actually make it or break it, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Do you think that they can go all the way?
Man,
because I personally do not. I've been saying it since day one. This team they don't have it. They don't have it. You've seen the last 3 weeks. They barely won against the Colts. They don't have it. They've been blown out by the football team.
That team with no name.
The football team beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, that's probably the rock bottom. Who else have they lost to? They lost to the Bills.
And then the Bengals.
The Bills are godly. The Bengals, that's sad. They didn't even have Joe Burrow for that game, I don't think.
No, they didn't.
But
Ryan.
Yeah, I mean the team. Sorry.
I don't think, people have been asking, are they contenders or are they pretenders? And I don't really, there's a certain point to where they started off the season obviously very strong. 11 going 11-0 for the first time in their team history, which is very huge. For them at least, and in the league. But, people were saying across all sorts of social platforms, they've been having a cakewalk schedule. I do have to say though, people, and I got into a full-blown war with this one dude on an Instagram post of an NFL memes page. And I mean, it was crazy. It had like 70 responses, and we were just going back and forth. Other people joining in. And I was like, well, they do have an easy schedule. Yes, they had an easy schedule for the first 11 games, first half of the season. But what else were they supposed to do? Like, they're not going to just lose those games, because that would make us even worse than what people are making us out to be. And so as a Steelers fan, I will say we are not the top team and never was the top team in the AFC nor the league. We had lots to prove. We should have won against Washington. We should have won. If we wanted to prove ourselves, we needed to win against the Bills. The Bengals should have been an easy win.
Yeah.
Not their Steelers are not one of the top teams in the league, not right now.
No, and you look at the schedule, and I mean, week 1, the Giants, they pretty much rolled over them. That was expected, honestly. Like, this team going into the year, nobody expected them to be, this good, actually, but nobody expected them to be bad, you know what I mean? Like, no one expected them to just tank.
Right.
Usual, typical Steelers stuff, like 10-6, you know what I mean? Like,
winning schedule, but
and
not
then
the best.
they popped off.
Right.
I mean, they put up 38 against the Browns. That's not bad. I mean, that was a good game by them.
Mm-hmm.
And then they were destroying the Titans. I mean, destroying them. And then they let the Titans put up 24 unanswered. And it's just stuff like that really makes you think, like, is this team legit,
Yeah.
And you go to their stats, and they're not really leading in anything. Yeah, TJ Watt, he leads in sacks. Like, I mean, credit to him. He's incredible. He's a great player. But that's not a team thing. That is just one dude. He makes up for most of the sacks on the team, really. So,
yeah, and especially with Bud Dupree being out for injury, it was just
the
Steelers' defense was, for the first half of the season, the best defense in the league, and according to Fantasy Football, they still are. Because I have them, they have remained the number 1 defense in the league throughout their 3-game losing streak. And you start to wonder, is the defense really going to win them games? And I think that that 3-game losing streak tells them that they can't just rely on their defense, because when they do, their offense can't get stuff done. I mean, you were watching Ben throw to Deontay, and Deontay was dropping, and he got benched against the Bills. And, you start to wonder, they really need to improve on their offensive side of the ball. And if they can't get it done, their defense cannot be relied on more than it already is.
I kind of take that back of TJ Watt, carrying most of their sacks. I'm looking at it now, and Stefan Tuitt has 10, but Dupree was having a great year. He had 8 until he got hurt. I mean, they're but that is really the only outstanding numbers. And I'm not discrediting this defense. It is a awesome defense. I mean, once in a decade that you find defense like this, like the 2019, 2018 Patriots, the only defense that really compare in this era, honestly. Maybe the Legion of Boom in its prime. But I don't know, the defensive front on this defense is elite, no questions asked.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah, and then the receiving core, obviously, you got guys like Deontay Johnson, who actually had a really breakout year. I wasn't hearing anything about him before this year. Claypool.
Right.
Who, I mean, he's been kind of inconsistent, but
Claypool went off
he did. He had those good. Yeah. He had 4 touchdowns?
4 touchdowns.
Like I don't
4
know,
receiving touchdowns. Yes.
Something like that. And I mean, he only has 8 touchdowns in total. But he has been a role in the offense. And then Smith-Schuster, you know what he can do. He's a weapon. Ebron has been a key role. I mean, the rushing game, it really could be better.
Oh no, it could be so much better, man. It's been crippling. And so here's the thing, though. So they've been putting in. So at first, the Steelers had been using James Conner as the all-time running back. Like, it was first down back, second down back, power back, third down back, whatever. Right,
and he was
they were using him to their full extent after Bell left. But now there's Mike Tomlin's starting to put in Benny Snell as their first down, second down running back. And so Benny Snell and this other backup that they have, they can't. It's very apparent, especially in the last 4 games. They can't get the running game down. So then they rely on their passing offense. And then when their passing offense starts to fail on them too, their offense is just disabled. So
yeah, I mean, the Steelers have 1 game left. James Conner, their leading rusher, only has 683 yards. Deontay Johnson, their leading receiver, only has 828. I honestly doubt that they're gonna get either of them to 1,000, honestly. And Big Ben, he's got 200 yards to go to 4,000. It could happen. I honestly, if they get a big enough lead against the Browns, I doubt they're going to keep all these guys in. So, I mean, I don't even know. They don't have Big Ben's not over 4,000. James Conner's not even anywhere near 1,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, Deontay Johnson needs 200 more yards, something like that. So, I mean, I don't know. They don't have any big standout guys, but they have a lot of core guys to contribute, and that's what.
But they have no standout player, and that's what, or players
exactly.
And that's what stands them out from the Chiefs and the Bills and all the other top AFC teams is that, the Chiefs, they've got potential MVP Patrick Mahomes. They've got Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, their other running back. It's just McCole Hardman. Their whole team is just
so many
stacked with weapons. And they're standout players. The Steelers have a well-rounded team, but if you go and look at leaders of rushing and passing and receiving and all this stuff on offense, you don't see the Steelers leading in any of those categories. And no player, not only the team. So it really is just, the Steelers are such a well-rounded team at each position. They just have no breakout stars. Not yet.
Yeah.
And obviously with that, and they're looking for a new quarterback, and Mason Rudolph is going to be starting for the Browns in
helmet boy
team. I think that the draft for 2021 really needs to be considered a running back or a quarterback for this Steelers offense.
I don't think they need a running back because James Conner, he's still really young. He can get the job done. Like, he's a good running back. They have so many weapons, and by weapons I mean Claypool, Smith-Schuster, Deontay Johnson. These are all really good guys. I mean, they're all great players. They just with all three of them, there's no way they can all stand out. You know what I mean? They don't have any one guy over 1,000 because there's three weapons, and you think these are all big name guys, but that doesn't mean they're standout star players.
Right.
So
right. So there was the question arises from the Steelers finally breaking that 3-game losing streak. Is this a sign that they will bounce back? They are now 12-3. They have a solid right. Actually, when you look at it in complete perspective, 12-3 is a very, very good record for a regular season team. It's just when you look at the schedule that the Steelers have had and a very easy 2020 for the Steelers. And so when you see them winning against all these really good teams, and then all of a sudden, it started with the Baltimore game. They only won 19-14. The passes were being dropped very sloppy. Mike Tomlin tweeted out that it was a very rough game. You really started to see the decline in not only motivation, but it's just effort. And so that really showed there in week 12 when they started, declining. Washington beat them, then the Bills came in, rinsed them in the second half, and then the Bengals just laid them out. Yes, they were undefeated, but the fact that they lost 3 games in a row after that, I mean, they are exhausted. This is an exhausted team. They put all their effort towards the first half of the season. The question is, can they bounce back in the second half? Because right now, the Jets have won more games in the last 4 weeks than the Steelers have. So
and you have to think, this team is going to the playoffs. It's a lock,
Right. They have it clinched.
Yeah. What I'm thinking is I think they let up because they thought it was a cakewalk, Right. They're 11-0. They're doing all their little TikTok dances, thinking they're so cool. And then they're like, oh, I mean, we have it. It's easy. We don't even have to try. Yes. Gets beat by the football team. You know what I mean? If they don't. And they almost lost to the Colts down. I checked the score. They were down a lot.
No, I will say, though, the Steelers team made an amazing comeback. It's one of the best second-half football games I have watched as a Steelers fan. But, I mean, the first half, it's so sloppy. And, it's everybody's in defeat. Ben delivered an amazing halftime speech. You can go find it on YouTube. But it's just you can't slip up like that, especially against a good team with the Colts. So the Steelers are it took a lot of skill to win that game, but there's a lot of luck that went in.
And the Browns, they're going up against the Browns, and Baker Mayfield the last 3 weeks has been on fire. I mean, except besides the week. Okay, we're not counting the week where he did not have any receivers. I
know that's why arguably they lost against the Jets is Baker Mayfield had no targets. That also says something though about Mayfield is that if he can't have receivers, then he can't win games. And so that's a discussion for another time. But that arises the question is
the thing where we disagree here is he had his top 4 guys out Like, I mean,
Right.
that's still like that's a connection. It's the connection too. It's not that people can't catch the football. It's that there is a connection between the receiver and the quarterback.
Exactly.
Like he had his top 4 dudes out that he can't throw to. He only put up 8 points, and he tried his best. He can't carry a team on his back.
He can't.
But I mean, when he has his weapons and Nick Chubb, this team, I mean, they've been rolling. They handed the Titans the business. I mean, they did. Like, this man has been killing it in fantasy for me recently. Like I benched Russell Wilson for him because Russell Wilson, frankly, have been doing pretty bad. So, I mean, he's got potential to really kind of kick ass.
Yeah.
Like this guy's.
But that also raises the question. They play the Steelers week 17, and Mason Rudolph is starting.
Exactly.
So if Baker Mayfield cannot win against the Steelers team, the Steelers have not only said that, you know what, we are going to bounce back. These 3 losses are not going to affect us. We're going to beat the other team, one of the best teams in the AFC contending right now. And we're going to fight back, prove everybody wrong, and succeed in the playoffs. And
the thing that I'm scared about for the Steelers is Baker Mayfield. When his job is on the line, when his team is on the line, he goes crazy. Before the Titans game, they told him, like, if he doesn't perform, this is his last start,
Yeah.
And like he balled out. And if they don't win this game, I don't think they make the playoffs. They might still be in contention. They might not. I don't really know. But I know if they lose this game, they're definitely out. So he wants to win, and when Baker is a competitive guy, like he does not like to lose, and he likes to go and just kill the other team. Really, he does. He's a super competitive guy, and when he gets that fire in him, like, he is hard to stop. I don't know if the Pittsburgh defense, as good as it is, can stop him when he's rolling like that.
And that's what they're going to have to prove. From the looks of it, the win of the Colts, big win, coming off of 3 games of not winning. I think the Steelers' future in the playoffs right now is very questionable. It really does depend on this Week 17. It's a bigger game than people think, especially in placement for the playoffs. But if people have been asking me, they're like, if I am a Steelers fan, and they're like, you think the Steelers are the best team in the league? And the answer is no. And that's not just my opinion. That is that's a fact.
It's the Chiefs, honestly. I think it's the Chiefs.
The Chiefs have been the Packers, most dominant overall team. And then the Packers, I'm talking about AFC, but the Packers most dominant NFC. But the AFC contention, the Chiefs still and will hold the number 1 spot until these playoffs are over.
Yeah.
And people were like, "Is the Steelers going to make the Super Bowl?" Probably not. If it, based on these last 4 games, by the looks of it, no, not even close.
Yeah.
But if they can bounce back and then hopefully get wins in the wild card and then move on, it really just depends on how the team decides to approach the playoffs
and the schedule. If they get if they play I doubt this will happen, but say for example they play the Bills first week, I don't think they can handle the Bills. I think the Bills are honestly probably the second best team besides the Chiefs in their respective division. So I don't think that the Steelers can compete with the Bills or the Chiefs or really. It depends. Like I said, it depends on who they're playing. I feel like if they think they can win, I feel like they can win. You know what I mean? If they're feeling good and they're feeling energetic and they're dancing on logos, as much as I hate it, I feel like they can do good, Yeah.
Okay. So that's another thing I want to discuss while we're still on the Steelers topic with the time we have is that dancing. We have to talk about Juju because it's become a big thing in the league right now. And so I don't know if you saw this or not, but on Bleacher Report, BR Gridiron, and on Twitter, Juju's mom has received death threats. I think Juju dancing on logos is wrong. I was discussing this with a
disrespectful
Steelers fan who goes to school with us. We were talking about it. He was like, he's just having fun. There's a difference between being yourself and having fun and straight up disrespectful towards other teams. And, if you were Juju and you're the Steelers, you wouldn't want other players dancing on your logo every game.
Yeah,
that would get you fired up. And so Juju, he does that on every team's logo, and people are bound to get mad. Death threats, little too far. But getting mad is the perfectly appropriate approach to dealing with this. And, Juju, I feel like as much as I want the Steelers to do well for my personal happiness, they deserved a loss against the Bills. The Bills taught them a lesson, and then Juju getting rocked by Bell he deserved it. In my personal opinion, he deserved it. And so now obviously he released a statement saying he wasn't going to do it anymore. But still that's just that's a big deal.
Yeah, and I saw some Instagram comments about like Juju was doing some TikTok dance after the victory, and all the comments were like, "Someone tell Von Bell his kid is acting up again." Like, they were hilarious, dude. It's I mean, the meme quality out of all of this situation is 10 out of 10. But I mean, you remember how bad Cowboys fans were when people danced on their star? It's the same thing,
It is. The
Cowboys fans are a different breed of fan, obviously. But, it's still the same thing. You're still disrespecting the entire organization and that organization's fans. Obviously, people are going to be mad. Like you said, death threats, no bueno, too far. But, he's just got to stop.
Yeah. All right. So this is what Juju's mom had tweeted out after people receiving these death threats. She says, "I captured this moment after my son's touchdown because this is my real emotions. After weeks of so many hate messages to death threats, I can't help but cry when my baby scored his touchdown. Y'all love him when we're winning, but hate when we are losing. Please remember, y'all are sending me these hate messages. You also have a child that I pray you will never have a crown." Can't say that. Grown. Can't say that word. Adult. Send his mother hate messages. Good win as a team. # Corvette. So obviously she still supports Juju, but there's a difference between showing your anger on field, hitting Juju, that's it's legal. You're doing it in the game. But death threats, and especially going after someone's family, is just
I don't know if
that's too far.
Purposely trying to rock Juju. I mean, I don't know if it was personally like a Von Bell was like, "Dang, I'm gonna hit this kid so hard." Like, I think it may have just been a normal tackle that he was forced on. But I don't know. And once again, going back to the topic of them, being the playoffs, they play the Buffalo Bills 12-3. The Pittsburgh Steelers are 12-3. The Titans are 10-5, and the Colts are 10-5. I honestly don't know if the Titans are having a good day. I don't know if the Pittsburgh Steelers can beat them. Yes, they beat them last time they played, but the Titans put up like 24 unanswered in the second half. Mm-hmm. This team is a second half team, and they can come back. They've proven that they can come back. When Derrick Henry is rolling, that opens up the pass game for A.J. Brown and Corey Davis. And when those two are rolling, I mean, this team is really unstoppable. And then the Chiefs, obviously, we've talked about 14-1, best team in the NFL right now, I think. As much as I don't like to say it, they're the best. So
I feel like should just keep their guard up and keep putting forth the effort that they put in for the first.
Don't get comfortable.
Season. Yeah.
Geez, that's what happened. They got comfortable and they got too relaxed, and they let up their guard, like you said, and then they got clapped. Simple. So I think that is going to be it for our first episode, don't you think?
That's a good wrap.
Obviously, keep doing this. We just want.
We promise the next episodes won't be as awkward, but this was the first one, and we.
And we're literally doing it just because we're two guys, and we think we talk football all the time, so we're like, you know what? Why not make a podcast? It was literally a random idea while we were playing Xbox. Like we were, what we should do? Start a podcast. Let us know what you want us to cover. It can be MLB and NBA, NHL, anything.
It can be anything
related. It doesn't even have to be really sports. As long as it's not like politics. We can talk about it. And like I said, we're just doing this for fun. So
all right. Well, thank you for tuning in. We're gonna go get some sleep because we are tired.
Facts. Yes.
I will edit this tomorrow and then it'll be up and live. So
okie dokie. I will announce it to the world on our Instagram page with 12 followers.
Heck yeah, man.
Yes, sir.
Good start.
Yes. All right. Thank you all for watching. See you next time.